Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Malhama and the Mahdi. This is episode 3 of Fake Mahdis. So in the last episode, we were discussing how various devil technologies can be brought together and threaded through the individual body of the Muslimin and the collective body of the Muslimin. And we introduced the idea of a metaverse scenario whereby people attend Hajj virtually through headsets, but they also already have certain tech planted in them, most of them. The people who are able to attend in person and those who will be attending virtually in the future. We are to maintain our organic, bodily, and genetic integrity. This is the way of Adam alayhi salam. This is the way of all of the prophets alayhum salam. This is the way of true humanity. We are to attain our perfection, our spiritual maturation, our culmination, our culminatory moment. We've grown from a seed into a vast tree, and a vast garden, in fact. And inshallah, in a very short time, we will come into our maturity. This will be a much smaller number than I had hoped. I'd hoped that there would be more of us. I'm uncertain of this at this point because so many people have chosen checkout time. So let's consider a little bit more of the high-tech disaster and what could happen. So imagine people go on virtual Hajj or Hajj in person, but with the devil tech thread-throughs and inputs. And during this event, you could have a holographic reality or a holographic expression of a fake Imam Mahdi, where he actually has all of the physical characteristics described within Hadith and a genealogy to match. He might even have a little documentary to go with him, with his backstory about how he grows up in Medina, becomes an imam of his local masjid. He's a hafiz at a young age. He memorized X number of hadith. He studied with so-and-so. He's got various certifications to teach. He went off path for a while, engaged in some sin, but then he had this one night that changed his life. And yet it won't actually have anything substantial to back up. He won't have gone through a real spiritual transformative experience. Perhaps because he may not even be a real organic, warm-blooded human. He may be AI generated and manufactured based on people's keyword searches, people's images and imaginings. This will be increasingly possible in coming days, especially as people enter into the metaverse, continue to give their data away, their genetic data, their intellectual data, their creative data, etc., etc. So this leads to disaster. People are distracted and thereby they are destructed. So with this high tech, you could have a scenario whereby not only is there a virtual baya that takes place in a metaverse scenario and also live, and this would be announced via the internet, and then you would have maybe a sinkhole hadith scenario that could be like a movie script where you see people fall into a sinkhole. But if people take the mark of the beast, they fall into the earth. No, they don't just fall into the earth, they fall into the bottomless pit, according to some of the ancient prophecies. They become the army of the Dajjal. May we be protected from such destruction, from such disaster. So, we've got this fake Imam Mahdi that could be computer generated, digitally generated, AI generated. And it could have like a hybrid of a real person with a holographic overlay and thread through. And people could actually, in the metaverse, as people get sucked into the metaverse and entrapped therein, into a hell realm, then what happens is they could go and they could take baya with this fake Mahdi and they could sit at his feet and they could listen to his khutbahs and they could have a good old time. And then they could go and they watched, they witnessed, they saw the sign They saw the army from the east fall into the earth. You know, it's like a big movie script. All possible now through CGI, through AI, digital manipulation, through devil tech that has infiltrated and colonized humanity's bodily integrity in our individual and collective expressions. So this is super high tech. This is Hollywood meets hell. Now they're already kind of neck and neck and together, hand in hand, I should say. Now, so there is this high tech disaster awaiting people if they are not aware, and they're just following fatwas. This is disastrous. You know, because you gotta understand that Iblis, he promised to lay in wait and sabotage humanity. This means infiltration guaranteed. This means deception. This means delusion. This means word magic, whisperings of the shayateen. This means he weaponizes human leaders against us, priesthoods against us, intermediaries against us. So anyway, just consider that these various technologies, you know, also just to connect to this briefly, people, if they're going to the metaverse, they can actually go and join the Imam Mahdi and fight in the Malhama together with him. In this whole, it's like a video game. So they can live out their fantasies, because they want to live in a fantasy world. They want to live in a cartoon, a CGI realm. So the Dajjal is going to give them that fake reality. They're going to think that they're conquering the world so they can dominate the world. They're going to have their little slaves stuck for Allah. That's a lie. That is a massive lie. They are going to entrap people and help people to cultivate the darkest, ugliest fantasies and to express sinful behavior and think that they're righteous. This is dog tribe. This is wolf behavior. This is a pack mentality. This is energetic vampirism. This is energetic cannibalism. This is infiltration thoroughly and through. So right now we are seeing this whole virtual expression of the fake Mahdi. And then perhaps you're going to have, you know, other expressions of fake Mahdis. There could be a Shia one. There could be a Sunni one. You know, we already see certain things out in like we already see the Khorasan hadiths weaponized against the Ummah and potentially set up for another okie doke. So I'm going to present some solutions in the next episode, inshallah. So until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.